Tonight on the CBS Evening News. That's CBS as in see with your eyes, S-E-E, and B-S. We will go into how Barack Obama, the pretender-in-chief of Washington, D.C., and the occupier of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and U.S. corporations are engaged in child kidnapping, child trafficking, and human trafficking. We go first out of Ajax Loans in Austin, Texas, to this article placed here on how to help the survivors of human and child trafficking. This ad was placed presumably by a U.S. government agency, and it states here, help heal the wounds of abused and neglected children. Crichton FFA is looking for lovable, compassionate parents to provide a loving home for children in foster care. Programs include survivors of human trafficking and unaccompanied refugee minors reimbursement up to $6,054 monthly. Tax-free support certification process is short as 45 days. We tried to call this number here, 714-680-8200, to ask the government officials involved in human trafficking and child trafficking, but they failed to comment. This story goes back to 2006 with House Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney asking Donald Rumsfeld about Dyncorp's, then at the time, human trafficking cases, and here's what they had to say.
Mr. Secretary, I watched President Bush deliver a moving speech at the United Nations in September 2003, in which he mentioned the crisis of the sex trade. The president called for the punishment of those involved in this horrible business. But at the very moment of that speech, Dyncorp was exposed for having been involved in the buying and selling of young women and children. While all of this was going on, Dyncorp kept the Pentagon contract to administer the smallpox and anthrax vaccines and is now working on a plague vaccine through the Joint Vaccine Acquisition Program. Mr. Secretary, is it policy of the U.S. government to reward companies that traffic in women and little girls? That's my first question. My second question, Mr. Secretary, according to the Comptroller General of the United States, there are serious financial management problems at the Pentagon, to which Mr. Cooper alluded. Fiscal year 1999, 2.3 trillion missing. Fiscal year 2001.
But tonight this story continues that traffic illegals at U.S. borders likely to be re-trafficked after release. This covered by Breitbart.com. The article states that many assume that once trafficking victims are picked up by U.S. Border Patrol, they are in safe hands. Congressman Luis Cortez told Breitbart News in June, the facts are that the average age of a child arriving is 14. Half of them are girls. There are a vast network of people trafficking in human beings. Anybody that doesn't know that, go to the United Nations report from last month of April, Honduras, murder capital of the world. Other articles continue to add DHS dumps of illegals diverted from Murrieta exposes. ISIS facilitating human smuggling and trafficking in human beings from Interpol. And in this search for the trafficking of human children and illegal aliens, about 727,000 results. This tonight on the CBS Evening News.